Hello there, great person. Welcome to another reading of The Wheel of Time. So today I'm planning on doing 5 chapters, though I will probably do. Yeah, I will need to take a break because I'm currently having the coup, you know what I mean? So I have to be a bit careful with my throat because it hurts a bit. So let's see how far I go and then, yeah. But I plan on releasing 5 chapters here. So let's just get going with the 5 chapters and start with, yeah, chapter 34, which is called The Last Village. So probably the last village before Caemlyn. And let's just get going. Interesting. So at the start of this chapter, Rand is thinking back and he's like, giving us the chronological order that we so desperately craved last time in this little paragraph, though. Yeah, so I think last time, yeah, as I said, I got it, though I think the first flashback was, I mean, it was explicitly stated in the book, but I somehow read over it, and yeah, you told me in the comments that this was weird and you had problems as well, so I'm glad I was not the only one, but I got the order of events, so yeah. I mean, it was quite fun, and you said it was only one time that this would happen, and for that, I really think it was fun to just figure it out in the end, piece it together a bit, and but yeah. So it was like, yeah, Howell Cody, then Peter, and then the random dark friend woman. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see what this Carrie's Fort village has for us. Yeah, and this as well. So here Randall's thinking a lot about, yeah, this looks peaceful and fine and rural, and I love it, but what is beneath it? What is beneath this brick house that I'm looking at with the vines all over it? Is it a house of a dark friend, perhaps? And I really like this, these thoughts he has, like, um, especially when they traveled with Moraine, it was always like, yeah, the dark friends exist, but it was just a story until they really met them and they are alone now. They are, so to speak, unprotected, and they got they got the feeling from their experiences that the world is not as friendly as it was, and danger could be everywhere. And I really like that. I would have liked this kind of dialogue in the chapter where it started, so we get to know, last time, when they were at the Dust Road, so that we get the impression that, yeah, there's something very bad here. And again, the dark friends are people. They are real people that you encounter in everyday life. And yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that these dark friends in this story, it's like obviously they are worshipping this dark one thing. But I mean, these people are in real life as well. They don't, like, you meet people and you think they are fine, and beneath it, they are really, really Richards, and you have to be careful. Some people you can't trust, and it's unfortunate. And if you had a situation where you thought you could trust someone you couldn't, then suddenly, I mean, it's like the whole world is changing, and it's very, very bad. And yeah, so I really like the Dark Friends as a concept. I really do. And again, it doesn't even have to be them worshipping this one god thing, like here in the book, the Dark One. In reality, there are people like that as well, and I really like that. It's just an excuse to have them come up in the story, and yeah, but whatever. And by the way, he says here, dark friend. So he looks at the countryside and he thinks, yeah, it's like underneath all this idyllic scenery, there might be dark friends lurking, or worse. But to be fair, the dark friends got closest to them. I mean, the shade that had a little run-in with Tome some chapters back, yeah, okay, that one got close. But really, the one who almost ended them were the normal people and the dark friends. So they were the danger that got closest to them. Um, yeah, except for perhaps the Trollocs. But yeah, and they are starting to get hungry, and their food resources have dwindled away. So that's bad. But I hope they will just reach Caemlyn soon. This one I like. Heroes in the stories never had to sleep in haystacks or under hedges. Yeah, well, probably they have to do that. You just don't get told everything. It's like the heroic part that is told to you in the story um, is the focus, and the little things like where do they sleep, how do they sleep, how do they travel. It's mostly not really something that you hear, and that's why I like this book as well, because you get to know the travels, and yeah, there are things happening, and the world is being built, and there are legends told. You know what I mean? But it's not just everything is a heroic act. There's also everyday life in here, and it has meaning as well every time we read about everyday life because it builds the world. I really do like that in this book. Oh, and this is a bit harrowing as well. Rand, Rand, do you think we will make it? Have a long? It's a long way yet, but Caemlyn, do you think we'll make it to Caemlyn? It's a very good exchange because Matt is. You really understand that Matt is really trying to do his best not to get like completely distraught, and he's like, okay, will we even make it to the city that is 2 villages away? What are we gonna do? We are hunted down by dark friends. Will there be dark friends there? Will there be white cloaks there? Will there be something worse? I don't know. And Matt is really depressed. I think he's getting really depressed, and I don't know if it's the dagger, but I mean, it would be understandable if it would just be the normal way of things currently for him, because, yeah, in the situation they're in, I can understand being like this. Really. I would probably be the same. I really wonder, like, if you're like running away or running through the countryside, and you don't know what will happen in the evening and where you will eat and sleep and stuff like that, how quickly will you get used to that in a way? Because they are like getting used to it. Not really, they still think about, yeah, how many times have I slept in haystacks and stuff like that. But Aaron and Egwen as well, they got used to being in the woods in a way. And I really wonder how long it would take. And I think that's a very, very dark thought in a way, because that's like nightmare to live in. And I know there are many people that live this nightmare every day, and I hope they are fine one day, but so bad. Yeah, and Matt here again, the depression. I think we're the last ones left. And he says to Matt, Rand says to Matt, yeah, no, go to sleep. But then he thinks to himself, just us. And he's doubting it as well, that the others are alive. Ah, okay. So now they see the people, and they get spotted. Of course, I mean, why not? And Matt asks them, "Where are you going?" And one of them says, "Why, Caemlyn, or to see the dragon." Yeah, but you are already looking at the dragon. Of course, he doesn't know, but yeah. I wonder when it will get revealed that Rand is the dragon. Was quite down the line in the show, but. And this is very interesting. So now they have like a cover why they are going to Camelon. They just have to say, yeah, I want to see the fourth string in Logain so I can tell my grandchildren. And yeah, it's interesting that the farm folk around them is like very bitter and disgusted by the dragon because they are turning away and spitting on the ground and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. So no one will give them a ride anymore because all the people are going to Camelon anyway to see the dragon, and all those tourists, so to speak, go there. So yeah. Okay, now they're like having a problem with some wagon driver that almost cut off Rand's head with a whip. Great guy. And there are guards with the wagons. Is that the wagon train, so to speak? I don't know how you say, like the wagon group that carries Logain. Okay, and the Queen's Guard has like lances. I wonder why. Isn't a lance? I mean, what can you do with it in fights? Like you can use it as a pole and you can stab at people. But isn't a lance normally like used with a shield? Say they probably have great shields or something like that as well. I don't know. Like in Elden Ring, when I finished it, but um, I used a great shield and a lance in the end. It was quite fun to just poke things down. Yeah, and obviously again, everyone wants to see Logain. Yeah, yeah, and again, that's what they think as well now. It's quite a good camouflage. All the young men going to Camelin to see the fourth dragon. And this is interesting as well. So this is like what they think the farmers think. And they think that the farmers think that dark friends are like similar to the followers of the false dragon. So the dragon still has this. I mean, we know that he has this aura of doom as well, because Lutheran effed up so badly. Yeah, Matt. I like Matt is like back to his old self a bit. So they see this village and he just goes, "Can we stop now? Or do you want to find an inn and hang out a sign for the dark friends or fate?" I like sassy Matt. He was so weird in the last chapters, but he seems to have like calmed down a bit or changed back to his old ways. So they approach the inn. Is that clever? I don't know. Might be good, might be bad. And that's quite funny. So there in the shadows, there's this guy fastening the things on the horse. I don't know, the reins. No, you know what I mean. And they're both like, so both these groups are like, suspicious, very suspicious. Ooh, it's a fade. Ooh, it's a fade. It's a fade. That's not good. They can't run because they're so exhausted. I wonder what they're gonna do now. So they don't have anyone to protect them. So there's a stupid fade running around playing detective again. And now the man by the cart is like talking to the innkeeper. Strange friends you have. Strange friends in the dark for an innkeeper. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why. It's probably quite bad for the innkeeper already because he saw the fate, and you know what the reaction to a fate is. You know, the fear, the terror, and the unknown, whatever. And now the cart driver is also like poking him a bit, and let's see what the innkeeper does. Almen Bund. Why is he called Almen Bund? It's also German. It means almond colorful. Okay, the fate is being a dick. I told him, yeah, I'm looking for 2 thieves from 4 kings, and they stole my heron sword. What a dick. I like fates. Fates, I don't know why. I know they're not supposed to be funny. But the book fates are very funny. I don't know why I think they're so funny. Because it's so strange what they do. I mean, yeah, they are like this terror when they're described, but the things they do, they are so weird and funny, and they're like not funny. I don't know. Yeah, because they're such dicks. It's so stupid. Dark friends and followers of Logain. Yeah, sure. So the fate is just like, yeah, they are evil. They are dark friends. They are dark friends. They are followers of Logain. They eat little children in the night, and they take horses and drown them every day. That's how bad they are. So better get them. So stupid. Wouldn't that be a good sitcom, like a shade on everyday life? Don't know why it's so stupid. Oh, whatever. I'm gonna continue reading now. Yeah, the innkeeper is like, yeah, I want the money, whatever. Yeah, and the cart driver's just mocking him now. And how much for the sword? Though I wonder what the sword is worth. We might get the answer here. Because, you know, it's like always they said, yeah, it's a sword, it's expensive, and it would probably be quite valuable. But what exactly is it worth? You know, someone who knows the sword should tell us. Should be able to tell us. Oh, so this Elman Bund guy, he wants to go at night to Caemlyn because the road is then not so crowded, and he wants to see the false dragon because he wants to see a false dragon once in his life to tell his kids, probably, as everyone wants to do. You know, it's like it's like the highlight of the year, like this, or the century, false dragon. Yeah, and he's also very suspicious of the shade. That's very clever guy, this Alman Bund. Yeah, and they approach him. Are they gonna sneak onto his wagon, or are they just gonna ask him, "Hey, there's a shade. he's after us. Okay, and he just takes them. It's a bit. There was just this innkeeper and this weird shadow man that they said, yeah, they're a very bad people too. He just takes them because he doesn't care apparently. What a great guy, this Almenbund. Okay, so now he's saying Caemlyn is the greatest city ever, like greatest country ever. But yeah, and here he tells us about other cities, and let's see what they are. Ilion, I think that's in the north. Is it in the north? I think I remember it being in the north, but I'm stupid. It's in the south. Ebudar and Tyr. Tyr, we know it's in the south, and oh, Ebudar's in the south as well. So he might be from the south, or he is like really liking. No, it's not from the south probably, but he likes the south. Okay, so there's an Aes Sedai in Caemlyn, and they might go to her, I guess. It's been so long since we've seen actual Aes Sedai. Moraine and Nynaeve, yeah, there were 1 or 2 chapters, but Moraine's very, very far away, so to speak. And I almost forgot that she is a character in a way, you know, because she's so long gone. Not in a negative way, but I really like this. So they lost their Gandalf, so to speak. Okay, so Eleda seems to be like in the show they had these counselor Aes Sedai everywhere, and she might be that, but she's also described as a spider. Gives me a bit of Game of Thrones vibes, you know, because like of Varys, you know, it's interesting. Okay. Yes, and he again. It's again. The world is changing for the worst, and everything's like drying up, and I'm dying, and it's very weird. Everything is like starting to be corrupted and fade. Lady Elaine and Lord Gawain, who are they? Is it like Count? Okay. Here is a lot of lore, and I'm not sure if I get this, but let's go through it again. So he says, yeah, I'm a queen's man. I will do anything to stop harm to her. But then he says, you may take the Lady Elaine and Lord Gawain now. There's a chain wouldn't harm anything and might do some good. So he says, yeah, there's something strange there going on, which might be better changed. And it seems to be under tradition that they send the daughter heir to Tavalon to become or to study with the Aes Sedai, which does not mean that they will become an Aes Sedai necessarily, because they have to have this, you know, feeling for the one power, I guess. And the oldest son has to become a warder. So okay, I get that. It seems to be tradition. And now I believe in tradition, I do, but look what it got us last time. Luke, I think it's Luke, dead in the blight before he was ever anointed first prince of the sword, and Tigraine vanished, run off or dead, when it came time for her to take the throne. Still troubling us that. So that means that the queen, before coming, the queen studies at the Aes Sedai city, and is not an Aes Sedai, apparently. But why does she study there then? Is it like, I know there's this library there that the Ogier built, at least it was in the show, I think. So it might be that, it might just be that in Tavalon there's so much knowledge that you can learn from, that it's clever to send the future queen there to like get a lot of books to read, and you know, reading's good. And yeah, interesting. Let's see where it goes. Okay, so the daughter of the queen ran off when it came for her time to take the throne. Might have been that she was an Aes Sedai, that she had the one power and they noticed, and then they took her in and she couldn't be the queen anymore, and then they just told them, yeah, she ran away, but she's really still there. You know? And then this Morgasi became queen instead. Why? Oh, isn't this Morgaine's name? No daughter heir to make the throne when the old queen died, and every house in Andor scheming and fighting for the right. I mean, I get that, Game of Thrones, ha ha ha. I'm sorry for that. But yeah, and Taringale Damodred. wasn't Moraine Damodred? I'm not sure. She might have been. He wouldn't have thought he'd lost his wife with him hot to figure which house would win so he could marry again and become prince consort after all. So it might be that Morgane is the daughter of this guy? Or is she this wife that he'd lost? He wouldn't have thought he'd lost his wife. So this is just theorizing. Might have been that Moraine was his wife, and then she had to go to the Aes Sedai, and that's why he lost her. Or it was his daughter. I'm pretty sure Moraine is Damodred. Let me look it up, actually. I will look it up. Yeah, I think it says, yeah, it's, yeah. Okay. So Moraine is Damodred. So it might be that this is her father or husband, because we don't know how old Moraine is. And then Morgase chose the man, or that would be so awkward if Moraine's husband was now wed to the queen. Or her father, that would also be interesting. Oh, and the queen is twice a woman wed to a man, wed to the land. I like that. Oh, here. Brought Caemlyn into the plotting before he was done, and you know how that ended. The tree chopped down and black veiled Aiel coming over the dragon wall. So this is the story we heard, I guess. Oh, it's so interesting that so much is suddenly happening because they just chose to go with this random dude. So the Caemlyn king was the idiot who burned down this sapling, I think. And the Aiel then were mad at him. That was where Rand was coming from, born, from that situation. Yeah, and he got killed. Yeah, and he refused the Aes Sedai help. But then Elaine and Gawain are sent there to the Aes Sedai. How and why? That I don't understand that. Perhaps I'm misremembering stuff and it's not what I think it is. But if I remember, Caemlyn, wasn't that where the Aiel fight was with? Where Tam was? Don't remember. Yeah, okay. If they've got to go someplace else to learn what they need, well, Elaine's got libraries as good as Tavalon. So yeah, it seems to be that the queen is sent there because of the library. Interesting. So, okay, I see. It might even be that he's not becoming a warder, but more like the warders will train him because they're the best in the world. But they've got supernatural powers through their bond, so I don't know how good their training will be for one who is not a warder. Yeah, so I think I got that a bit, but so let me recap. And I'm sorry if this bores you, but so it seems that in Andor, the queen's son and daughter are sent to Tavalon to study to become, because there's a lot of skill that they need to be whatever they are gonna become, like next queen or whatever the prince will be, probably count whatever. And Caemlyn, they seem to have done the same, but I'm confused because I remember the king being very, very hesitant about Aes Sedai and hating them and not wanting to be healed. That was the dude, wasn't he? The one who was dying and he didn't want the Aes Sedai to heal him? Or was that the guy from yeah, I think it was. Let me look it up. Yeah, I didn't find it. I will just look it up later. Or you remind me in the comments, because I think it was that, where, like, this Aiel story. Or was it in the chapter where Tam had the flashback? I don't remember. Whatever. Let's just move on. Okay, now Tam is dreaming because Rand is dreaming about Tam because he slept away. Oh, interesting. Now he's hallucinating Tom on the litter from that night. And Tom is saying, the queen is wed to the land, but the dragon is one with the land, and the land is one with the dragon. Oh, great. The fate brings the heads of Moraine and Lan. Great. In the nightmare. Oh, now he burns Egwene in the dream. Great. Oh, now he's a false awakening. Great, great, great job, mate. So he wakes up, thinks there's a raven on top of his chest, picking out his eye, and then he wakes up again. Well, we are there, Caemlyn, grandest city in the world. That was a very dense chapter. I really did like it. I really did like the chapter. So let's see what the next one has. Chapter 35. Caemlyn. Okay, Caemlyn seems to be very big, and it has like a city wall, and outside the city wall there are the suburbs. And I think that was the way it was like in medieval times as well, and before that, and perhaps after that as well. I think we're still in Germany at least, because medieval times were here as well, you know. And we have these city walls where they were. You know, we have sometimes in cities, in our, like in the city I live in currently, they also have this moat that is still left over, I think, from those times. Might have been reconstructed after the World War, but I think it's still there. And there was a wall there, and you can even see an old model of the city, like from they built it from bronze, you know, and it's in the center of the city, and you can look at it, and you see the old wall around the city, and beyond that there are these little villages. I really like that. Such weird stuff. Yeah, and there's the Great Wall and towers on top of the wall, and it's actually quite interesting. There's this channel where this dude is analyzing like or telling stuff about medieval buildings and culture and battle customs and whatever. And he once made a video, and I will link it if I find it because I liked it a lot, about how castles really were. Like you imagine this great castle, like from like Neuschwanstein or whatever, and no, real castles were like a little wall perhaps, and then a little house with 2 rooms, small castle. You know, it's very interesting. I hope I will find the video, and I hope it will be linked here. But yeah, it's very nice. And why I'm saying that is because the thing you mostly see in movies and TV shows, it's more like a city. Sometimes even like there are these like castles, but they're more like little cities. And this as well. This is like a big city, and if you look at it, it has this wall around. It looks a bit like a big castle, and I like that a lot. I like that they did this here because that's how it was in reality. So yeah, yeah. And he says it's like in a fairy tale. Yeah, yeah, and it's the capital of Andor. Okay, that's why it's so big, and it was built by Ogier. Oh, well, we'll meet Loial, or how was he called? You know, the Ogier dude that I like. Yeah, and Matt's like, how can we hide in that city? Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, and Matt's like, yeah, they're all gone, they're all dead, like the Gleeman, everyone's dead. No, I don't think so. Yeah, and they have to position more guards in front of the gate because everyone just wants to see Logain. Oh, there's a wall like that protects the inner city as well. I really like Caemlyn, the design. So bad it wasn't in the show, by the way, but I really do like Caemlyn. It's like I have this very clear picture in my head, which is good. So yeah, and again, this drought and death that is in the world and starting to affect the harvest and stuff like that, they just ignore it here. It's like they pretend not to see it. Yeah, and this is very powerful. What they did not see, they could ignore. What they did not see, it's not really there. That's a dangerous thought, mate. That's a dangerous thought. Oh, the Bund now asks about the sword. Interesting. Yeah, wow. Now he says, I don't like Holden, and I don't like the guy he was with because that was the weirdo, so I didn't tell him. I like Bund. There are so many great farmers here that help them. I love all of them. Yeah, and he says, yeah, sell the sword because you will get a lot of attention you don't want. Yeah, true, but I really like this dude. He's caring for them. I wonder why he told them all this stuff. Sometimes I think people just tell you stuff because they want to talk about something they know, because something they don't know is like next to them, and that gives the feeling of familiarity even in those situations. Like when he picked them up, he wasn't sure if they were good or bad people, but he trusted like his instinct perhaps, but he still wanted to reassure himself of the world being good, and that's why he told himself like the queen will do and protect us. And I really like that. That's such a nuanced thing to do in writing here. And now he's gone. What a hero again. Yeah, and he's got thoughts like, um, nobody's safe anymore. Maybe they're all dead. What do you do then? What are we gonna do? What if the world is burning apart in the next few minutes? It's like, yeah. But he doesn't say, he says they're alive. You know, it's, yeah. So he thinks one thing and says the other. Dangerous stuff, mate, but I get why he's doing it. Oh yeah, Tom said to find an inn called the Queen's Blessing. We'll go there first. Yeah, go there. That's good. I forgot that. I'm an idiot. Yeah. Yeah, and Matt is like having a breakdown. Oh, everyone's against us. Oh God, what are we gonna do? Yeah, I understand. That's natural. Yeah, and now he's like saying to Matt, yeah, mate, you're right. Perhaps everything is bad, but you still have to move on, because otherwise you will die as well. That's the truth as well. If everything goes wrong, you still have to move forward. Like, yeah, or you could say, yeah, okay, fine, bye. I'm just gonna stand here and get rolled over by a boulder or whatever. You know, it's, yeah, but you have to move on. Harsh, quite harsh. Yeah, and Matt now says, yeah, I'm sorry, Rand, because yeah, he's like, Matt is, he's not built for this currently. Yeah, and he's got like Matt is homesick, and yeah, man, I understand. Yeah, and that's as well. It's what I just said. Rand now says the wheel turns. I'm not going to curl up and wait for it to happen. Dying, you know? Yeah, yeah, and it's like he's like trying to build up Matt's mood, but inside he's thinking, what if he's right? What if he's right? Yeah, quite grown quite a bit. I like that he has grown. And they ask for the Queen's blessing, and the guy laughs at them. I don't know why. There are riots, okay? Yeah. And they're like, there are these guys that want to sell them stuff from Logate. And says, Ren calculated he was offered enough scraps of the false dragon's cloak and fragments of his sword to make 2 swords and half a dozen cloaks. So stupid. It's like, I was in Paris like 2 weeks ago, and at the Eiffel Tower, you know, there are these little Eiffel Tower things, and every little Eiffel Tower that is sold is the one real official Eiffel Tower. They're so expensive, so stupid. Oh, and even here the white cloaks are avoided. Interesting. And he can't sell his link to Tem to his father. Yeah. Oh, okay. So everyone is there, sword, one cloth. So he just has to do it as well, and then he won't. No one will notice that the sword is special. Oh, and now, yeah, he just buys it. This is funny. So they're buying the cloth, and Rand is like spouting this like honey to lure in the shopkeeper, and the shopkeeper's like, no, if you do trouble, 100 people will hit you. Get on about your filthy business. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, and in Ilion, they're gathering for the hunt of the horn. Ah, they found the Queen's blessing. That's good. Let's see what's inside. The innkeeper was fed. Oh, good. So it's not an evil innkeeper. Basil Gill. Oh, and he knows Tome. Oh, and he sees the flute case and she says, come with me. So let's hope he doesn't think they robbed her. And he brings them to the yard and asks, yeah, what's in the case? And Rand says, Tome's flute. How did you come by it? Tome would part with his arm as soon as his flute. Yeah. Oh, this is very sad. Ah, I'll believe he's dead when I see his corpse. Oh, so we are 2 already. Good innkeeper Gill. So Basil Gill is like me. I also don't think he's dead. He's a harder man to kill than you might believe. Is old Tom Maryland. Oh, what's his backstory? We get more Tome backstory because of his nephew or whatever. I know the man that's what he jumped into that kind of trouble, especially to help a couple of lads about the age of you. What exactly is the nature of your trouble with Tavalon? And he's a bit like hesitant to ask them. And he almost slips like, we even had an Aesir helping us. Glad to hear it now that I've all that much love for Aesir. Not that I've all that much love for Aesir, but better them than that other thing. What's he talking about? Okay, so he gives them a bed and something to eat. Nice guy. Okay, so he says, yeah, don't talk about the Aesir helping you. That's not so good here, but I will try to do for you what I can. And because, so, Aleda, so the Aesir in the city, the probably council or whatever, is under the Queen's protection and thusly under the Queen's Guard's protection. And recently, the Queen's Guard seems to have been a bit rougher with people speaking out against Aesir, which is interesting. So, is Aleda taking over the city a bit? I don't know. I mean, I don't think she's evil, but oh, Tom had trouble with the Queen. Okay. Wow. So Tom was the court bard of Andor. Okay. So he had something with the Queen. What? Oh, okay. So he was a court bard. The Queen liked him, and they had probably a thing. But then he went away because of the thing of his nephew and didn't tell her, and now she's mad. Reminds me of Doctor Who, where Queen Elizabeth is always mad at the Doctor for leaving her at the clearing. Oh, and the Queen didn't like him meddling in Aesir manner because she probably was taught there, perhaps as well. Was she as well the Aesir Tavalon? I don't know. Might be, might not be. Okay, so he pissed off Elaine because he was against Aesir then after the thing with his nephew, and he seems to have angered Queen Morgasi as well. And I think they still have are hunting for him. And she was so pissed off that the whole city had to like be very gentle with her. I get it. And that was the chapter. So we got the backstory of Tom, but I don't think it's all of it because he can fight well and he just charged the fate. Something else happened, I guess. And I really like him. So yeah, again hints that he's not dead because we haven't seen him die. I really like that. So that was the chapter, and I think I'm gonna take a little break and get a bit water for my throat and recover a bit, and then I will go on and read the next 3 chapters, and I'll see you soon. Now, let's continue this journey with chapter 36, Web of the Pattern. Oh, and we are still with Rand. So we've been with Rand for the last 5 or 6 chapters. That's quite a lot. Interesting. And now they talk with Gil at a table. Okay. Yeah, and he tells a story without fates and trollocs, but other than that, he does tell the truth. So let's see what Gil says. Yeah, and then they ask Tom, should we go to Aleda? And he says, no, you could have gone there if you hadn't been connected to Tom. Okay. Okay, so they can't go to the guards either because they would tell Elaine that they're Aleda, that they are dark friends, and then, yeah, okay. I get it. I get it. Yeah, and now his cook comes and says, I like the cooks. Yeah, and now Matt's absolutely going off the rails. Why do you want to go to Tavalon now? You said that we would go to Caemlyn because Moraine was gonna be there, and now she's not here. Now we're gonna go to Tavalon, and if she's not there, what then? Yeah, I mean, I get him, but what are you gonna do? You have to keep moving. Yeah, and yeah, interesting. So now Rand is shifting a bit. He says, I want to find out why we are so important. I get it. That's clever. Eat, Rand said gently. Yeah, Matt is just calm down, Matt. I understand where he's coming from, but yeah, harsh situation they're in. She made him wish he had parents away with girls. I don't think so, mate. So he's looking at this beautiful young lady. Yeah, and Matt is like, they're dead. Everything's gloomy and bad. And the guard comes and looks at him, goes away, and now he's asking himself again, what's gonna happen now? Oh no, he goes into a library room. Travels of Jane Farstrider, that's the astronaut, isn't it? The essays of Willem of Menekes. Voyages among the sea folk. Sam had always wanted to read that. I bet he wanted to read. Might be 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, perhaps? I don't know. Ooh, it's the Ogier. Not many of us have gone out among men since the shadow fell on the ways. So I mean, we know that there is a shadow on the ways since it fell. I don't remember. Was it during the breaking that the ways became unusable? Right after the War of the 100 Years. That was directly after the breaking. So, yeah. But it was after so it was 100 years after the breaking that the shadow fell on the ways. I wonder why it was so much later. What happened there? Loial, son of Arend, son of Hallan. Your name sings in my ears, Randaltor. Your name sings in my ears, Loial, son of Arend, son of Hallan. Yeah. That's me trying to adapt to customs. That's so me. It was so stupid when I was in Paris. There was this restaurant and they had this custom of, the waiter comes, puts down a plate and you tell them what you want and I just grabbed something. It was so stupid. And it was so embarrassing. But I was hungry. It's very hungry. And it was very, very nice. It was, what was it? It was a very nice little cookie from, I don't know what it's called in English. Even though it was told, they told me in English what it was, but whatever, let's get back to this story. You humans are very excitable. Oh, and the Queen's Guard saved him from people calling him a Trolloc. Poor Loial. Such screaming and shouting. Everyone trying to get through the door at the same time. Some of them could have been hurt. Yeah, it's quite harsh actually. I mean, it's funny a bit, like the way it's written, but it's quite sad, like he's like an outcast, just minding his own business, coming to town, and everyone hates him. It's poor guy. Oh, and Loial now will tell us his age. 90. Oh, it's okay. Quite young. So Loial is like, he's 90, but he seems to be comparable in age to Rand, like if you adjust it to Ogier years, so to speak, because he was not allowed to talk to some stump. I don't know what that means, but that's probably the coming of age, and Rand just came of age as well. So I didn't realize that in the show he seemed much older, so they could have cast a younger actor, perhaps. I don't know, but I really like this. I didn't know this. This is very cool. So he's also a young lad, even though he's 90. So he snuck away. I like him. So he just had, like, he read everything he could and he just had a longing to see the world. I like that. And he wants to see the groves and the things they built ages ago. So these groves, are those the steadings? Might be. So if it's, as I understand it, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, so the groves are the steadings, and the steadings were created like they planted things perfectly in harmony. Like, and you have to do that when you like farm things. Not, of course, not as detailed, so to speak, as they do here, because it's like you have to plant certain crops after each other every year to keep the soil from going bad, because different crops will take different minerals from the ground, and you have to mix it up so it's not like not poison, but exhausted, so to speak. The ground's not exhausted, and it's what they did here. So they really planted things so they would not interfere with each other, but complement each other. I like that idea. Also, there's this old magic in the steading, apparently. So, is that from Harmony? I don't know. So they learned it after the breaking, the work with stones and masonry, and they tried to make the stone live interesting because they could make the trees. No, they what? I don't know. I'm talking rubbish. Okay, in any case, you see, working with stone is just something that was thrust on us by the weaving of the pattern. The groves came from the heart. So no, it's not a steading, it's just probably, perhaps they try with the groves to emulate steadings and make the landscape harmonize. I don't know. I don't know. The wheel of time weaves the pattern of the ages, and lives are the threads it weaves. No one can tell how the thread of his own life will be woven into the pattern, or how the thread of a people will be woven. Okay. It gave us the breaking of the world and the exile, and stone and the longing, and eventually it gave us back the steading before we all died. Sometimes I think the reason you humans are the way you are is because your threads are so short. They must jump around in the weaving. Oh, there, I have done it again. The elders say you humans don't like to be reminded of how short time you live. I hope I didn't hurt your feelings. What great dialogue. Very good. And it's interesting because human lives are so short, they can jump around in the pattern. And what does that mean? Is it that they can potentially distort it more? Which is a bit paradoxical, but here it is, what we know from the little short from the Wheel of Time Origins bit. They are bound to the steading, he's telling him now. Oh, steading is also the plural, I understand. Oh, so he says, my books are old because they're probably from the beginning, like after the breaking. And he says, half the cities I read about are gone and the other half has changed the name. So let's see if we get more lore here. That is also cool to put him in here like a character. I mean, I love Loial already, but the way they do it here is like he can tell stuff from the books he read from before the story took place, so to speak, like from before Rand was born. And Caemlyn was Hill of the Golden Dawn. Does that mean it was like the seat of Lutheran or someone like the? Wasn't he like the King of Dawn or whatever? Okay, so they planted these groves like to have places of harmony, I guess. I don't know why exactly, but the men have started to destroy them and move them and not take care of them, so they grew into normal forest and stuff. I have to know more about that because I'm not sure why they planted it. Seems to be because they just wanted to create harmony, like in the steading somewhere, but all the groves gone, all the memories gone, all the dreams dead. Well, that's bleak. Yeah, and he says, yeah, that's your way, the way of humans, always trying to, always trying to be defiant against death or fate or whatever, or darkness. Oh, interesting. And he asks about the Alvendisora, the tree from the Aiel, and then Loial says, shouldn't you know you're an Aiel? And Rand says, no, I'm from Two Rivers. Somebody told me that it was once called Manetheren. I'd never heard it, but maybe you. Ah, yes, Manetheren. So he knows. Ooh. Oh. Oh, God. There was a very fine grove there. Your pain sings in my heart. We could not come in time. Oh, God. This story is so good with Manetheren and the way it comes up again. And now I'm teary. Yeah, great job, book. So they tried to come. They were not like the douchebags in what's its Shadowlog, whatever it was called before. And now he asks, "What brings you so far?" That was one of my favorite bits here, where he says, "We could not come." It's so good. Can't believe that this one stupid line is so good and made me so emotional. probably couldn't see it, but wow. That really brought tears to my eyes because they tried. And that's what, the ogre, that's the image I had of them. This good people that try to help other good people. And he didn't want to, so now Rand doesn't want to lie to him, and let's see what he tells him. And he tells him everything, yeah, because the Ogiers seem to be true. I wonder if there are Ogier dark friends. I don't believe there are. Somehow I feel that, but I might be mistaken and we see them in the future, but... Oh, Tavern, Loial said. Oh, he knows. You know how the... Oh, okay, there's going to be lore, so I will take a sip of coffee. You know how the pattern is woven, of course. Obviously, he doesn't know. Okay. So the pattern is woven, but there is leeway for everything. Very small leeway for things that like don't change a lot. And if you want to make big changes, you can't because the leeway is too small, so to speak. It's like when you weave, like there's rows perhaps like of string next to each other, and you can like wiggle the string around a bit, but you can't change you can't put the string next to you can't change string, so to speak, or whatever. Probably dumb analogy, but okay. And there the bendings that like ripple through the pattern and change it like chaos are called Tavern. Or Tavern. Let me see how I pronounce it. Taviren. Okay. Taviren. Taviren. The web, Maral Alien, it's called, can last for weeks or for years. So the Tavern changes and ripples through the pattern, and this web that is created in the pattern is Tamaralayan. I'm sorry, and what caused this is Tavern. And the known Tavern that are brought up here are Arthur, and Lusterin. This is also interesting. I didn't say you were, but I could almost feel the pattern swirl just listening to you tell your tale. And I have no talent there. So other Ogier might be more aware of the pattern, which is badass. I wish to travel with you because he wishes to travel with them because they are Tavern, and he wants to see because he's looking for knowledge. I love that reason. I don't remember if he had a reason in the show other than, hey, you're cool. Might have been the same, and I forgot. Perhaps you are not another Arthur Hawkwing, but for a time at least, part of the world will shape itself around you. Perhaps is even now shaping itself around you. That's so great, so weird. I like it. Even Elder Harmon would. Who's that Elder Harmon? I hope we meet him down the line. He seems like this. Listen to your elders, Loial. I know, and you don't. That's the way I imagine him to be. And this Elder Harmon seems to be like a role model, and like both a role model and a person he doesn't want to be like. So it's interesting. Like he probably just was his teacher. I am sure your friends are well, so he knows. Oh, okay, he doesn't want him to go with him, but he says we might meet in Tavalon. That would be great, and he likes him, and they are like becoming friends. And that was the chapter. I really did like this one. This was badass. There was a lot of lore, and we finally got to know what Tavern is. I mean, I think they told me in the show, but I forgot, I have to be honest. So now I'll know. So a Tavern is like the start of chaos theory in the web, in the pattern, like a web that's created through chaos. Chapter 37, The Long Chase. Oh, it's a Nynaeve chapter. Great. Hello, Nynaeve. And she likes the horses. That's good. So Nynaeve's petting Adib. Okay, Moraine just said some cryptic stuff and left. So yeah, Moraine is worried now that she can't see this path, yeah. Oh, they went after the path and the token's gone. Oh, that's bad. And she says, okay, no worries. We'll just go the same direction as we have been, and if I'm close enough, I'll just find him. He has regained the coin. All will be well. Who's she talking about? Did we already see this? I hope I don't miss it. I did not miss it. Perrin. Did Perrin lose the coin from the white? So did the White Cloaks take his coin and he got it back somehow? I'm not sure. Rand and Matt don't have the coins anymore, I think. Or do they? Yes, I think they do. Oh, I'm so sorry, I don't remember. I don't remember who has the coin still and who doesn't. I think Rand and Matt still have it. Oh god. It's a bit awkward. I will just look it up later. Ooh, Moraine and Lan and Nynaeve are now next to the White Cloak camp. And they feel Perrin. That's different from the show. That's cool, but it's different. I like that it's different because this is a lot more fun. Let's see what happens. And now they are talking about Perrin, and are they gonna free him? I'm not sure. Are they gonna free him? This is so much better. So they are planning to rescue him, and Nynaeve has to cut the rope, the rope of the horse a bit, and Moraine will create a diversion, and then they will run away, the horses, and the diversion will probably stir up trouble as well, and then they can safely take Perrin. That's clever. This is so much more clever than whatever. So he thinks I'm good, does he? Yeah, you like him, don't you, Nynaeve? You like him. Oh, and the wolves wanted him to see them. That's good. So perhaps they will team up with the wolves. That would be so badass. So what? So just a little break. Like, what break? So in the show they had this Logain stuff where Moraine was at. Why though? Why not do this? Yeah, we got more lore and more action. It was like this battle, and it was a very nice episode. It was very good. I understand why they did it in the show. I like this too, as though this is a bit more. It's not this epic thing yet, and it doesn't have to be because, like, currently it's okay. It's enough for me because there hasn't been this big magic in a long time. Because last time was, I think, Moraine against Trollocs, like what was that, 200 300 pages ago, and the magic is not this prominent thing yet, and in the show it was prominent all along, you know, this that everyone that drew the one power was this powerful being, and the battle in episode 4 was very powerful, and here it's like I still remember the one power usage, but it's in the distance already again, and all the things we had was mysterious and a little bit of magic, so to speak, but not this. You know what I mean? I really like that here, that it's more mystical like that. It's not like, yeah, just throw water at them or whatever. Oh, and Moraine tells her, like, she'll so back and take care of yourself because we need you, and I want you unharmed. That's sweet, even though it's like she says that because it's instrumental to her, like it's more like an instrument that she wants currently, perhaps Nynaeve. I'm not sure, but oh, and she's like using her sneak skills, and she's smelling for the horses, and she goes there. Very intelligent, like a video game when she looks at the guards patrolling around, and they're always like the same pace and saying the same stuff. It's like a video game. Reminds me of that stupid section of Ocarina of Time where you know the court guards. Yeah, and she's afraid. She's at the horses now, and she now has to do the cut. The cut. Yeah, now she's slowly going through and cutting the ropes, or whatever it is. Joss said she moved to the last picket line. Her first horse on it was Bella. Right. That might be a problem, though, if Bella is excited to see her. And now all the horses are like waking up and wanting to get stroked. That's so cute. Yeah, and now Moraine's gonna start the maneuver. That's good. And she has got Bela, so she can save Bela. Good old Bela. Oh, now she's climbing Bela, and the lightning is striking, and now she's gonna ride Bela out of there. Oh, and now the wolves come in. Great. Tag team. It's so good. Ah, the fire that killed the night. That's a nice description of thundering. And that was the chapter. was a very short chapter, even if it was called Long Chase, perhaps because it ended. I liked it. So yeah, let's go to the next one, but only after I've drunk my coffee again. Yes, there is maths on the coffee cup. You know why? Chapter 38, Rescue. And it's from parents' perspective. So now we will probably see that he already knew they were coming because the wolves were there and he could feel them, and he caught them in probably. Yeah, and they make them responsible for the delay as the wolves had mauled half of the people. At least he's allowed to go to the latrine pit with his hands not bound. That's nice. I mean, it's something. And it means they are not, I mean, they are assholes, the White Cloaks currently, but you know, at least they are not that inhumane. Not as inhumane as they were in the show, I think, like this one dude. You know this. You know who I mean. The one I liked, but that made no sense in the end. Oh, and Briar is also a douchebag, and he told them about all the things they were gonna do to them. What a kind soul. What a kind soul he is. Yeah, and he's not like threatening them or gloating, he's just saying it. It's even more creepy because he's a zealot, obviously. Okay, and Bayer is waking him up. Why? What's gonna happen? Oh, and Bayer took his ex, by the way. What a dick. And he seems to wake them up every night and do this. Whatever. Okay, he says, yeah, if you ran away, it's so unfortunate. Here's a rock you can cut yourself loose with. But it's just speculation. And your guards, you know, they are speculating as well. I mean, what do I know? I'm not their boss, but might be speculating as well. Is this a trap or not? Perhaps it's a trap, I don't know. He probably wants them to get loose and so he can just end them. Yeah, that's what he thinks as well. He wants them to escape so he can cut them down. Ah, and the wolves. As I said, help comes, yeah. Okay, so now things happen. Okay, suddenly two guards disappeared. Is that Len? Yeah, Len's just going and killing everyone. God, I have missed him. This would have been so bad as in the show, Len just going in and ending all the White Claw. Yeah, because the problem is if you hit someone with an X and you miss, the X goes down with the momentum and you can't move for a second or so. Oh, and he's just hitting him, pummeling him, and Briar's just falling down. Or Bayer. Yeah. So he just hit him unconscious. I get that. He's not an evil man. And Bayer is different because he is emotionless in a way. That's so weird. Did something happen to him? Oh, now the lightning comes. Okay. And in that commotion, he's just leading them out. That's so cool. That's such a cool line. No one tried to stop them. Through the tents, out of the camp, and into the night, and no one raised a hand against them. Great. I like that a lot. And it's without violence, by the way. Not like in the show, not like wolves coming in and mauling everyone. It's just like they're just being led out by intelligence. You know, it's very good. Oh, and she says, now Moran's there, it's cool. And she says, Nonive has not returned. She might have done something stupid. And Len immediately goes back to get her because he loves her. No, I don't know, but I love their pairing. Oh, wow. And Moraine says, remember your oath. So Lan was like, F you, Moraine, I'm gonna get her. Oh, that is so good. What of the oath of a diademed battle lord of the Malkieri? Whatever that is. Oh, and Gwen found Bella, and Nynaeve was there. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I love this. They're reunited. Now they just have to fetch the other two. Ah, it's been such a long. I mean, look where we are. So good. Oh God, I love this book. Where are Rand and Matt? Elsewhere. I mean, to be fair, they do if they have the coins. I mean, we will probably know whether they still have them, then they can just find them, and otherwise they will probably, I mean, they're at the Caemlyn Road again. They will probably just catch up because they have horses. Oh, and now the doggos go away, and they say, one day again. It's sad. They were such good companions, and they saved them as well. I hope Elias is fine. I hope they will be back one day. Such a great part of the book, the wolf stuff. Love it. One of my favorite parts, but there are many. When we recap it, I mean, in 1 or 2 weeks, I'm probably gonna read this now. I'm probably gonna read more tomorrow and the day after tomorrow because I'm sick and I don't have work so I might I will upload them later, but let's see what I do. Perhaps I will watch more shows. Yeah, it's such a good part of the book. It was so well done. Yeah, and she thinks they're in Caemlyn. Moraine thinks Len and Matt are in Rand and Matt are in Caemlyn. Let's see where. Yeah, they are converging again. I like that. Take your coat and shirt off, Perrin. They tell me one of the White Cloaks took a dislike to you. Why did he dislike him so much? That buyer guy. Oh, and he's very hurt. Yeah. Like, yeah, and because the wolves had ended to men, that's why he hates him, and he knew somehow. Nynaeve is healing him, yeah. Good for her. Yeah, Nynaeve is just throwing shade at Moraine. She says, it's like, yeah, I get it, you don't like her that much. Though you still care for her. Ooh, his eyes have changed now. And suddenly Nynaeve, Moraine is there. Yellow? Yeah, and it's not what she expected, so the pattern has changed again because of Taverin. Probably. Will not harm him directly. Oh yeah, great. Peachy, peachy. Okay, so Moraine thinks the wolf thing might be the Dark One's doing, but it's older, so it's something she does not know of. At least not that much. That's good. Because it's something she will also be new to. That's always good. You know, he said, and Lan nodded. I know some, not all. Did it just come to you, or did you meet a guide? So Lan knows as well. So what does Lan know about it? Perhaps he knows more than Moraine. Oh, and Lan seems to know Elias. What? I knew him. He taught me much about the Blight and about this. He was a warder before. So the Red Archer probably ended his Aes Sedai, and that's why he ended all of them and went to the forest. Okay, that's dark. He is well, Elias. So Lan cares for him, so he was his mentor. What the fuck? And they cut him from season. I mean, to be fair, he will be probably in season 2 as far as you said, but good God. It was old and lost long before the Dark One was found. Yeah, it's an ancient power. The pattern is forming a great web, what some call the lace of ages, and Eulets are central to it. The lace of ages is created. That's so weird and badass and great. Love it. I don't think there is much chance left in your life now. Have you been chosen out then, and if so, by the light or by the shadow? Yeah. It's starting. And he says the same thing as Elias says, because probably Elias told him. Old barriers weaken, old walls crumble. The barriers between what is and what was, between what is and what will be. The walls of the Dark One's prison. Ooh. This may be the end of an age. We may see a new age born before we die. Ooh. Or perhaps it is the end of ages, the end of time itself. The end of the world. You are back among friends. Lan tells him he's a friend. And I think Lan is not lying. Ever. My feeling. Can he lie? I mean, Moraine can't, so can he? And the Dark One cannot change the way the wheel weaves. At least that's what he thinks. Interesting. Perhaps the walls have weakened enough for the Dark One himself to touch events. So is the Dark One in Taverin? But Moraine, she can find them anywhere, can't she? She says she can. But can she find them in time? If the Dark One is strong enough to take a hand himself, time is running out. You pray we find them in Caemlyn Blacksmith, or we will all be lost. That was the chapter. So there we are. 5 chapters done. Went over pretty quickly. Was a blast again, and I will probably have to sleep and think about sleep about over it. I don't know how you say it. Like I have to sleep to really digest it. And I'm looking forward to it. And it was lovely reading. I loved everything about it, and can't wait to read on. And it's interesting that I'm almost through the book. So today there will be no talking to my friends because one of them is in Paris with his husband, and we can't talk. But yeah, I will just not do that. I will just perhaps talk about some things I thought. So it's heating up. So this tavern idea is very interesting, and I think the Dark One might be a tavern. And I'm not sure, is the Dark One something from within the web of the pattern? Like, did the pattern weave the Dark One as well, create him? Or not? Or is it from outside the pattern? Because then it wouldn't make sense that the pattern wants to destroy itself. I'm so confused about that. Caemlyn will be the next big thing. We might see Logain. It's interesting because we still have to go to Tavalon and then into the Blight, I think. And there are like, what, 15 chapters left? I think 15? Nothing left. How are they gonna get there in time? I don't know. Anyway, if you like this, consider liking, subscribing, and ring the bell. And yeah, I will just take a break now, and then I will watch some more recordings, and then yeah, I'll see you soon. Take care of yourself. Bye.